I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice. I never see my brother as he is, for that is far beyond perception. What I see in him is what I wish to see, because it stands for what I want to be the truth. It is to this alone that I respond. However much I seem to be impelled by outside happenings, I choose to see what I would look upon, what I would look upon. And this I see, and only this, and only this. My brother's sinlessness shows me that I would look upon my own. My brother's sinlessness shows me that I would look upon my own. And I will see it, having chosen to behold my brother in its holy light. And I will see it, having chosen to behold my brother in its holy light. I chose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. What could restore your memory to me, except to see my brother's sinlessness? His holiness reminds me that he was created one with me, and like myself. In him I find myself, and in your Son I find, the memory of you as well. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining me here today. It's November the 27th is the day I'm doing this recording for lesson for November the 30th of 2024, Saturday, lesson 335. So I recorded about 3 days earlier. Anyway, it's kind of a rainy day, and I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. Wind's not blowing so hard as it was yesterday. I'll take my hat off. Okay, thank you all so much for joining me, as I just said. And let's take a look at lesson 335. Some really interesting things he says here. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Forgiveness is a choice. Now there you go. Forgiveness is a choice. I never see my brother as he is, for that is far beyond perception. What I see in him is merely what I wish to see, because it stands for what I want to be the truth. It is to this alone that I respond, however much I seem to be impelled by outside happenings to think that something's being done to you. He wants us to realize that we're the initiator of all of our experiences, even the things that happen through our brothers and sisters. We're the ones that set up the motion and bring it to us by our vibration, by our thoughts, by our prayers, by the thoughts of our heart, the feelings of our heart. So have anger in your heart, you'll bring some honoriness to you. It is to this, because so again, what I see in my brother is what I wish to see, because it stands for what I want to be the truth. It is to this alone that I respond, however much I seem to be impelled by outside happenings. I choose to see what I would look upon, and this I see, and only this. My brother's sinlessness shows me that I would look upon my own. You want to see your own sinlessness? You got to see it in your brother. My brother's sinlessness shows me that I would look upon my own sinlessness, and I will see it, having chosen to behold my brother in its holy light. What could restore your memory to me except to see my brother's sinlessness? His holiness reminds me that he was created one with me and like myself. In him I find myself, and in your Son I find the memory of you as well. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. And I'm here in my front yard back in the Ozarks. I'm a forgiveness teacher, Willie, from the Ozarks, sitting in front of my bamboo. I was on the Lake Michigan yesterday. Okay, our associated reading. What is the ego? The ego is idolatry, the sign of limited and separated self, born in a body doomed to suffer and end its life in death. It is the will that sees the will of God as enemy and takes a form in which it is denied. The ego is the proof that strength is weak and love is fearful, life is really death, and what opposes God alone is true. Peace to such foolishness. The ego is insane to think those thoughts. In fear it stands beyond the everywhere. Apart from all, in separation from the infinite. And in its insanity it thinks it has become a victor over God himself. And in its terrible autonomy it sees the will of God has been destroyed. It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams, its enemies who seek to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. The Son of God is egoless. What can he know of madness and the death of God when he abides in him? What can he know of sorrow and of suffering when he lives in eternal joy? What can he know of fear and punishment, of sin and guilt, of hatred and attack, when all there is surrounding him is everlasting peace, forever conflict-free and undisturbed, in deepest silence and tranquility? To know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws, and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. Let's read that sentence again. To know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts, and the ego's works, its acts, its laws, and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. We want to know reality, so let's not know about the ego. In suffering, the price for faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the Son of God is offered daily at its darkened shrine, and blood must flow before the altar where its sickly followers prepare to die. Yet will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light, the altar to illusions, to the shrine of life itself. And peace will be restored forever to the holy minds, which God created as his Son, his dwelling place, his joy, his love, completely his, completely one with him. Okay, well, and do the best you can at doing your hourly pauses throughout the day to think of, I choose to see my brother's sinlessness, and be sure that you're making that choice. That's what those pauses are about. And then also, during those pauses, find something to give God thanks for. Ask him for guidance and direction. Be sure to take a longer period of time when you get up in the morning and again before you go to bed at night to hang out with this idea, I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. And then try to find that quiet, wordless place in your mind where you're You're observant, but your thoughts are still. And in that place, God can speak to you wordlessly or with words, either one. Okay, I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. And then let's go take a look at the very last section of the Manual for Teachers, the Epilogue. We finished the clarification of terms. Now the Epilogue. Forget not once this journey is begun, the end is certain. Doubt along the way will come and go to come again. Yet is the ending sure. No one can fail to do what God appointed him to do. When you forget, remember that you walk with him and with his word upon your heart. Who could despair when hope like this is his? Illusions of despair may seem to come, but learn how not to be deceived by them. Behind each illusion of despair that you don't want to be deceived by, behind each one there is reality and there is God. Why would you wait for this and trade it for illusions when his love is but an instant farther on the road where all illusions end? The end is sure and guaranteed by God, who stands before a lifeless image when a step away the Holy of the Holies opens up an ancient door that leads beyond the world. Paragraph 2. You are a stranger here, but you belong to him who loves you as he loves himself. Ask but my help to roll the stone away, and it is done according to his will. We have begun the journey. Long ago the end was written in the stars and set into the heavens with a shining ray that held it safe within eternity and through all time as well, and holds it still, unchanged, unchanging, and unchangeable. Be not afraid. Be not afraid. We only start again an ancient journey long ago begun that but seems new. We have begun again upon a road we traveled on before and lost our way a little while. And now we try again. Our new beginning has the certainty the journey lacks. Our new beginning has the certainty the journey lacked till now. Look up and see his word among the stars, where he has set your name along with his. Look up and find your certain destiny. The world would hide, but God would have you see. Again on that last sentence. Look up and find your certain destiny. The world would hide, but God would have you see. Paragraph 4. Let us wait here in silence and kneel down an instant in our gratitude to him who calls to us and helped us hear his call. And then let us arise and go in faith along the way to him. Now we are sure we do not walk alone, for God is here, and with him all our brothers. Now we know that we will never lose the way again. The song begins again, which had been stopped only an instant, though it seems to be unsung forever. What is here begun will grow in life and strength and hope until the world is still an instant, until the world is still an instant and forgets all that the dream of sin had made of it. Again on that sentence, this is the last sentence, paragraph 4. What is here begun will grow in life and strength and hope until the world is still an instant and forgets all that the dream of sin had made of it. Wow, that's what we're looking for, that holy still moment where the dream of sin is gone. Okay, and our last paragraph 5 of the epilogue. Let us go out and meet the newborn world, knowing that Christ has been reborn in it, and that the holiness of this rebirth will last forever. We had lost our way, but he has found it for us. Let us go and bid him welcome who returns to us to celebrate salvation and the end of all we thought we made. The morning star of this new day looks on a different world where God is welcomed and his Son with him. The morning star. Isn't that beautiful? We had lost our way, but he has found it for us. Let us go and bid him welcome who returns to us to celebrate salvation and the end of all we thought we made. The morning star of this new day looks on a different world where God is welcomed and his Son with him. We who complete him offer thanks to him as he gives thanks to us. We who complete him offer thanks to him as he gives thanks to us. The sun is still, and in the quiet God has given him, enters his home and is at peace at last. Can we find that stillness, that peace at last? Okay, let's see what's going on around the world. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Cities for Life Day. That's for people that want to abolish the death penalty, which I'd put my stamp of approval on that. I'd definitely like to see the death penalty abolished. International Computer Security Day. Mason Jar Day. Mason jar's been around since 1858. Keeping things from spoiling, huh? Meth Awareness Day. My brother Carl, he got wrapped up into that. He's gone on now. Lives in at one of the unseen cloud, the cloud of witnesses. But he had a major change in his life and realized how important it was that he helped his brothers and sisters that had got wrapped up in meth. And he worked for years after he got out of prison. He went to college, got his master's degree, and learned how to be a good counselor and helped a lot of men to recover from meth. So thank you, Carl, for all your efforts of helping people in this world. Anyway, it's Meth Awareness Day. Mousse Day, which is basically a foamy, sweet or savory dish, like you've heard of chocolate mousse. Personal Space Day. Let everybody have their personal space. Don't be too close up into their face. It's where they feel like you're kind of like taking over their personal space. Perpetual Youth Day. You're as old as you think, and we're realizing that we're eternal. We live forever. Might as well see yourself as not a body, but the eternal spirit that never was born and won't ever die. Small Business Saturday. Stay home because you are well day. Instead of because you're sick, stay home because you're well. Okay, and World Day of Giving. Remember, what you give, you're giving to yourself. So be sure to give everything that you want, because that's what's be given to you. Okay, and then out of Seat Savers Exchange, we've got the Shanghai Green Pak Choy. It's a Brassica rapa, subspecies chinensis. So let's see what it says about the the Shanghai Green Pak Choy. And I might start to get a little dark here with as cloudy as it is. It's kind of misty. I'm going to put my glasses on. If you love stir fry or just tasty vegetables, these easy to grow greens are a must. This popular pak choy matures early and has thick, dark green leaves and light green petioles shaped like an hourglass. This variety has excellent heat tolerance and adapts well to most areas, provided temperatures stay between 50 and 80. Chefs and home cooks alike tout its tender leaves and excellent flavor. 35 to 40 days. 11,000 seeds to the ounce. Thank you, Seed Savers Exchange, for telling us about the Shanghai green Pak Choy. Okay, and I think we're ready to close with our song. And again, thank you all so much for joining me today. And I do want to encourage you to remember that to see your brother's sinlessness today. It's, value it. I mean, we're working with our value system in A Course in Miracles, and we want to value innocence in our brothers, and we want to see that everyone's our brother. And that's why we don't need to see anything to happen, death penalty. That's just probably born out of a strong desire for guilt to be real. And the wrong was so bad that you have to die now, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth mentality. But Jesus said, turn the other cheek. He said, you've been told of old to do an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, but now he wants us to think of a new way. And during Moses' day, when Moses made that ruling, that was actually probably a very loving thing. Think about it. If your tendency as a society, if someone hurts you, you went and hurt them plus a little bit, well, then it would be quite a step in the practice of forgiveness to just do an eye for an eye instead of adding the plus a little bit problem to it. So an eye for an eye is actually a step in the right direction. But we want to get beyond that. We want to recognize that grievances are not necessary, and that sin is not real, and that any appearance is, as we're learning, is, how does he say? However much I seem to be impelled by outside happenings, it's only what I'm seeing inside that's making it happen. It's your prayer of your heart is what makes what is happening in your world. So let's be aware that we want to see our innocence, and the only way to see it is to see everyone's innocence, because we're all part of this dream together. We wake up from this evil dream by practicing forgiveness. All right? So I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice. I never see my brother as he is, for that is far beyond perception. What I see in him is what I wish to see. Because it stands for what I want to be the truth. It is to this alone that I respond. However much I seem to be impelled by outside happenings, however much I seem to be impelled by outside happenings, I choose to see what I would look upon. And this I see, and only this, and only this. My brother's sinlessness shows me that I would look upon my own, and I will see it having chosen to behold my brother in its holy light. And I will see it having chosen to behold it, my brother, in its holy light. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. What could restore your memory to me, except to see my brother's sinlessness? His His holiness reminds me that He created Its holiness reminds me that He was created one with me. That's a little better. What could restore your memory to me, except to see my brother's sinlessness? His holiness reminds me that He was created one with me, and like myself, in Him I find myself, and in your Son I find the memory. I find the memory of you as well. In my brother I find myself, and in your Son I find the memory of you as well. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. And let's see, our word for peace is out of the Old Norse language of northern England and southern Scottish lowland. And the Old Norse word for peace is Fridr. So Fridr be with you. Peace be with you. All right. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Thanks again for joining me today. Until tomorrow, tell yourself often, I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Fridr.